Welcome back, tribe. I have an episode here from Shoe on Head. Fire as usual. Is this the average male fantasy?
Men. What do they want? Money? Status? Fast, expensive cars? What is the ultimate male fantasy? Is it fame? Fortune? 3 hot chicks at once? Hell yeah, brother. No, according to men on the internet, it's something a little more simple.
Men on the internet. Redditors? Oh, yeah, Sims.
This is literally just a fetish. I fucking hate men so much. Men are why we can't have nice things. As I was working on an upcoming video, I made the terrible mistake of logging onto Twitter, where I saw this post. A montage from the anime Josie, the Tiger, and the Fish, a movie about a college student who's assigned to take care of a paraplegic girl, and spoiler, eventually they fall in love. Many men were yearn posting in the replies of this tweet and talking about how they wish to fall in love and would love a relationship like this, while many others, mostly women, were absolutely fucking disgusted at this. Why would a bunch of men be fantasizing about being with a woman in a wheelchair? Seems pretty creepy and predatory, right? Also just unrealistic and problematic. Well, in this video, we are going to be talking about why so many men resonated to that clip and this movie, and why so many people are so confused as to why. We are also going to be reading some absolutely unhinged tweets, as usual, to get to the bottom of why such a wholesome post turned into, once again, another battlefront for the ongoing, never-ending gender war. Men versus women, women versus men, the male loneliness epidemic, the female loneliness epidemic, the dealing with dating apps. Do men prefer thin women or curvy women? Brunettes or blondes? Do women like dad bods or fit men? Do they like beards or clean-shaven? Pokemon and Sailor Moon when I was a kid, and a few years ago I watched Beastars on Netflix. Legoshi, best boy. Not a furry, by the way. And honestly, that's about it for my anime consumption. Unless you're counting VTubers. If you're counting VTubers, I watch a lot of anime. But because of this clip going viral, I watched Josie, the Tiger, and the Fish, and, well, I thought it was a good movie. I recommend watching it. I thought it was a really cute, good story. I only cried a little bit. And I completely understood what the tweet meant by calling it the average male fantasy. So, what was wrong with it? Why did this clip go so viral in such a negative way? Why were thousands of people angry at this post? Well, let us dilly-dally no longer and read some of these angry replies to get a better understanding of what the issue is, shall we? Wholesome male fantasy, and it's fetishizing a disabled girl for him to control. Oh no. They think, oh God, why? Always vulnerable, always happy, always needs you. Pretty perverted. Where are these fan fictions coming from? There were like hundreds of tweets just like this. Why did they see a cute montage of a happy couple, a man and a woman happy, together? I know, unheard of. Why did they see that and then immediately come to these conclusions? Like, as someone who actually watched the movie, Josie is not always happy. And she's absolutely not portrayed as some, like, vulnerable, ooh-woo, sex doll waifu. She's boisterous. She kind of has a foul mouth. She's very sassy and headstrong. She, like, straight up calls him her servant. But she was also very depressed. She basically never left her house. She was basically a girl failure. As a former girl failure, I love to see representation in media. But they actually show her disability, like, not in a good way. Like, they don't romanticize it. They don't sugarcoat it. And I noticed, unlike a lot of movies, unlike a lot of romance movies, at least, like, the Hallmark kind, where it's, like, the stuffy male lead learning to live life from the quirky, cute female lead. He's already got his shit together. And she learns to live life from him.
So, in this anime, the guy's got his shit together, and the best he could do is a chick in a wheelchair. Boy, oh boy. And even that is not accepted. Having your shit together as a man, this is just art. They still think you're not worth it. You're not supposed to have a woman. You're supposed to die alone. Everything together, wheelchair girl, she's too good for you. You're a creeper. It's a fucking anime. That's insane. The gender divide is only getting worse. We're seeing the Mouse Utopia experiment play out. It's actually insane to see. There's a deep conversation to get into the explosion of, let's just say, the T and LGB and how many, especially we were seeing white men from that previous video, it's all coming down to competition. If you've read about the Mouse Utopia experiment or seen videos about it, we covered it on this channel. I think you could literally search when you go to the channel Mouse Utopia experiment and see it's an older video, but we cover exactly what's happening. And it parallels to what's going on in society right now. When you got too many of us too close in a city stacked on top of one another, the population collapse cycle begins. And all this, I guess you could call it degeneracy, these are all behavioral sinks. Everything you're seeing today is a behavioral sink, from the way people are losing their fucking minds, but the way they're being disconnected from reality, the way they're being socially engineered, the stress of the animal being enclosed in a tiny space and not touching grass per se, you're not connected to the real world, causes a lot of psychological problems. And just like the Mouse Utopia experiment where the population collapses, and he didn't finish his experiments, by the way. Had he, we would have seen exactly how it ends. But we're experiencing the same population collapse.
Encourages her to live her dreams. And in return, he learns to live life in a completely different way. And I thought that was really cool and sweet. Also, the animation was really good. Is anime good? Have I been sleeping on anime this entire time? His fantasy is that she becomes permanently disabled and helplessly dependent on him, but can still make him a sandwich.
What?
Sounds about right. Oh my god, after watching the movie, these tweets are even more insane. But even putting the movie aside, just seeing that cute montage out of context, where the fuck are they getting this? These are very clearly just two happy people. But because the caption was the average male fantasy, their mind immediately goes to the darkest, worst faith interpretation of this. Problem is, these people can't see any humanity in men. They can't see any humanity in humanity in general. Average male fantasy equals girlfriend with no agency who's completely physically dependent on you and forced into blanket subservience and compliance. Sounds about right. You males are weird for fetishizing physically disabled women.
That's basically what women do with the government today. Women are essentially persons with no agency who's completely physically dependent on the government and forced into blanket subservience and compliance. The nanny state, which they vote for. Okay?
Average male fantasy is having a physically disabled girl that they can abuse however they want. Got it. Want to be that guy? I'm gonna be that guy. The infantilization of the physically disabled here is a little, dare I say, ableist. The implication here that people in wheelchairs cannot find love, and if they do, the person who loves them literally just loves them because they can't run away. Weird. Average men can't even be nice to their healthy and normal girlfriend. What makes you think they'll be able to handle a disabled person as their lover? Whoa. Normal? What do you mean by normal? These people are just so ableist, chat. Can you believe it? Chat? I don't even live stream. Who's chat? I'm disabled, blind, so I showed this to my boyfriend. He says, I love you because you're you, and you make my days happier. So what if I have to drive you places or help you with cooking and cleaning? I would have done that anyway. Disability has nothing to do with it. I love you. Ma'am, I don't know how to tell you this, but, your boyfriend is a rapist. Sorry you had to find out this way. You show this as fantasy because it's not true for the majority of men who participate in abuse of disabled people. No, the fantasy is the woman appreciates his efforts to make her happy. Stop lying and abusing women and the disabled.
There, I guarantee you, it's going to get to the point, because of the Mouse Utopia again. Average men, the only girlfriends you're going to be allowed to have will be like the AI girlfriends. But if it's a person, it's going to have to be a transformer woman or a disabled woman. I mean, even disabled's pretty much off the menu for you because you're a predator, misogynist pig. So I think all you're going to be left with is transformers and bots. Because, the argument on the transformer side is, how dare you, bigot, not affirm my identity? How dare you, bigot, not like me? Is it because you think I'm not a woman? How dare you? Quit being such a, what do they call them? Trans radicals? No, those are the nutty ones. Hetero radical. Whatever. They give us like a million different names.
Your meds, schizo. You don't even know that fucking guy. What do you mean stop abusing women and the disabled? Bitch, who are you? Also, the majority of men participate in abuse of disabled people. Are you okay? The majority of men are not abusers. That is a very, very small minority of men. The majority of men are men that just wake up, take a shit, get out of bed, take a shower, go to work, come home, and wait for GTA 6 to come out. That is the majority of men. Men commit 95% of all rape, but okay. Barging into the romance section of Barnes & Noble like, attention everyone! Rape! Where is that coming from? So close, this is fetish content. Ah yes, the dirtiest, most taboo of all fetishes. A happy relationship. Honestly, in 2025, that might be true. Oh, you want a wife and kids? You sick fuck. But this is literally just a perverted fantasy, LMAO. You think it's a perverted fantasy because, how do I put this nicely? You are a pervert. Literally seeing a cute montage of a male and female character having fun together, being in love together, being like, right, he's a rapist. This is a fetish. Are these people okay? Stop watching porn. Wait, this is a woman. Okay, stop reading Taken by the Werewolf Billionaire.
Yeah, give me a break, dude. How much smut do women read? Like, if you heard some of the sentences that were written down in these books, you would look at women completely different. The double standards here is insane. But the fact that any seemingly happy relationship is deemed as perverted in some way should tell you how deep in the leftist echo chamber they are. People are not allowed to be happy anymore. You have to be miserable like them. This is the crab pulling everybody down in the bucket because they have fucked up progressive relationships or no deep relationships whatsoever because of their leftist ideology, and they shoo everybody away. That nobody else can now be happy. Anybody around them must be miserable just like them, or else it's somehow perverted. It's dirty. It's abusive. Because I deserve to be in a good relationship. Why doesn't anybody pick me? Clearly, there's an agenda here of these people pushing heteronormative relationships. Of course, she's disabled. Her legs don't work, so he can have his way with her. And she can't stop it. It's such a pervert. This is all manipulation. This is a sign of a very sick, like a mentally sick, unhappy person. And these people are probably energy vampires, bro. Just it drains you to be around these kinds of people. They're going to stamp themselves out. Mother Nature will see to it. They don't reproduce. This is why they target this kind of messaging so hard on the young people of society. That's the only way they could refill their ranks.
Or whatever the fuck you read. I swear to God, some of the shit women read would make the most depraved internet gooner blush.
Exactly.
Or so I've been told. This is literally just a fetish. Okay, listen, I'm not going to pretend there's nobody out there who's like, she can't run away, she has no legs. I'm not going to sit here and pretend there's nobody out there who has a crippled, disabled fetish, okay? I've been on the internet for 20 years. I've been on DeviantArt. I've seen you wouldn't believe. But the majority of people, probably most, if not all the people responding to this, do not have a cripple fetish, okay? In fact, her being in a wheelchair basically has nothing to do with it. Much like how females coom over, like, vampires or, like I said before, the billionaire werewolf fantasy. This is just the average male fantasy distilled down to its most extreme. So what is the average male fantasy? The average male fantasy is the fantasy of both men and women alike. It is simply to love and to be loved. But more specifically, the male fantasy is to be a protector and a provider for those that they love. Put a pin in this because we are going to come back to this in a big way, trust me. The average male fantasy is being a globally known terrorist. The average male fantasy is that a woman who isn't fat. The average male fantasy is actually job security. You know what? These guys may have a point here. Pedophile alert. Men want disabled child wives? Average male fantasy is a disabled child?
Wow.
More proof that men are pedos. That's a little girl. This is weird. So, first of all, she's literally older than the guy. The guy is 22 and she is 24. In anime years, he is practically hag-maxing. And yes, she may be physically disabled, but aren't all men mentally disabled in their own special way? At least the ones in my audience. They will freely admit this. Maybe she, the older woman, is taking advantage of this sensitive young man. Have you ever thought of that? She looks like an 11-year-old child. Where are her breasts? First of all, really weird way to say that. She looks like a child. Show me her titties. Also, I love
that. Okay. And if they drew her being super voluptuous with gigantic titties, they would have said, that's over-sexualizing women. Oh, of course, the male fantasy, big boobs. You can't win. This is why engaging with these people is useless.
How, like, when anime women have huge boobs, it's disgusting, Kumar brain or whatever. But if the anime woman has small boobs, she is a child and you're a chimo. can't fucking win. Also, if she had big boobs, they'd absolutely be like, wow, look at this sexualization of the disabled.
Exactly.
Also, you know, like, adult women can be flat-chested, right? Like, that actually exists in real life. Like, adult human women can have small boobs. We love all titties here on the Shoe on Head channel. All titties is good titties. End of story. Women fantasy. A boyfriend with depth and a loving, soft, deeply caring side of them. Men's fantasy. 12-year-old anime girl who looks and speaks like a toddler. Also notice how she's literally the shape and size of a child. Yuck.
What the hell?
Have you people ever seen a child? No. You're all childless. Silly me. She's not even that short. She's just sitting. See, like, when they're laying side by side, she's like a full-grown adult woman. Why do these people look at this and immediately think of child rape? Go to therapy.
We're done, boys. It's a wrap for you in the West. There's no point in dating. I don't know how many times I have to beat this into you guys. You truly must experience life overseas, even if it's something like a week. If that's all you can afford, you just have to feel what it's like to speak to a woman that values what it means to be a man, that values masculinity, appreciates you for your time, is grateful that you took her out, and you enjoy the trip together, the date, whatever it is. You take her around, she shows you the countryside, that where she's from, all that stuff. You'll have a blast, and you don't have to deal with any of this shit. It's getting worse. I've been out of the States for a year and a half now. That's it. Not long in the grand scheme of things. But I can see a marked decrease in the compatibility between men and women. The sides are splitting. We used to be together strong, ape together strong. It's now completely split apart and diverging rapidly. It's not going to get better. It's going to get way worse. The graph is rising exponentially, and we're about to achieve blast off into outer space of degeneracy. You think it's bad now? Wait until you see what's around the corner 10 years from now. It's going to make you wish you could be dating in today's climate. For men, luckily, going overseas is an option. I don't want to hear any of this bullshit. Well, not all of us could go overseas. You better fucking figure it out. Unless you're checked out of the game and don't care about women anymore, and you go, cool story, I'll just be with my dog, my fishing lures, and I'll go hit the lake or the river when I want, and I'm cool. I'm checked out. I'm living life on my own terms. Great. Good for you. But a lot of the men that are still wanting women, still would like to be heads of households, would like kids, would like to leave behind a legacy. If you have that drive in you, then you have to go overseas, because you're going to do the needle in a haystack here in the United States. And this is what you're going to get. You're going to get covert feminists. You're going to get covert man haters. She's always going to look at you with an adversarial attitude. She's not going to appreciate you in any way. Your relationship's always going to be a competition. This is the thing that you notice when you go overseas, that your relationship is no longer a competition. It's cooperation. She helps you become a better man. A good woman is invaluable. Okay, it's hard to calculate just how much they bring to the table. But where do you find a feminine, good woman in the United States? Especially after she's been to college through the brainwashing campaign of those campuses that are liberal. The honest truth is, you won't. You can't. It's like, she's most likely, the dudes, and I've seen them and I've talked to them on consults and all that stuff, they said the women that they met in the United States were first-generation immigrants. No full-blooded American woman. Take that for what you will. But you need a fucking plan to at least see a week or two vacation for your fucking self. Open the dating apps. There are no-go in the United States, but open the fucking dating apps overseas. See for yourself. Don't fucking believe me? Check the comment section. They tell you over and over again, guys will have their head in the sand and go, oh, I don't want to go overseas. You don't have a choice. So your choice is be single or go overseas to get a decent woman. Pick, bro. And if that's the case and you want to just be single, then female content, dating, stuff like this, the manosphere should be completely irrelevant for you. I'd be watching fishing channels. I'd be watching self-improvement stuff specifically for what you want to do. You want to rock climb, watch rock climbing channels. You want to learn how to lift in the gym, go watch people lifting in the gym, teaching you how to do that shit. Stuff of that nature. Build businesses. Get hobbies that are interesting to you. Live your life separate of this shit. You don't need it. But if you're interested in what's going on in the culture, you're still got your toe dipped in there a little bit, you're dating or currently have a girlfriend and you're trying to navigate like all the bullshit that could be coming your way, I'm telling you right now, plant the fucking seed of going overseas. Ignore this advice at your own peril. Believe me, tell them in the fucking comment section. If you have a preference for Asian chicks, go to fucking Southeast Asia. If you have a preference for white women, go to the Balkans. If you have a preference for black women, go to Africa. If you have a preference for Latin American women or, mixed, some white, some black looking, Latin America got you a little bit of everything. You need to go see this shit. And you're running out of time. This is the part that they don't say. Time is of the essence here. I'm telling you, they are, how would you say, liberalizing rapidly. Feminism ideals are spreading quickly like wildfire. All the capitals are pretty much toxic. Not on the level of the West, but Jesus, you come to Bucharest, they will rob you blind out here. These girls know how to play the feminine game and tell you all the sweet nothings you want to hear in the capital and then absolutely extract all the value from you and fuck you over. But you go to the regional cities, the countryside, not where the degeneracy is, you'll find a lot of great women. Okay, the story repeats no matter where you go. You go to Thailand, if you're messing around with those bar chicks, if you're messing around in Bangkok, you're going to get fleeced hard. You go for the real women outside of the city, you'll get something decent. They still exist there in huge numbers, and it's like shooting fish in a barrel. But that time is running out even for that option. I don't think we have more than, I want to say, 10 years, 15 years max before even regional cities, tier 2 cities of a country, tier 3 cities are going to be absolutely inundated with brain rot, TikTok bullshit mentality. Honestly, it's like this is the last stop on the train right now. This is the feeling from every passport bro I talk to, every expat that lives around here, guys I've talked to in Thailand, guys I've talked to in Croatia and other parts that we've been visiting, Italy, all say the same shit. The door on this is closing quickly. And guys will find, little pockets here and there, like Central Asian countries. They'll go to like Kazakhstan and shit like that. But that only gives you a temporary relief because the bulk of the possibilities are drying up quickly. I'm being real. I'm telling you, I've dated younger women here in like 19, 20, 21. And oftentimes they were markedly worse than 25, 26, 27, or up to 30. The 30-year-olds in the Balkans, guys, 30. Oldest one I went out with was 31 just to see. She's 31 years old. And compared to some of the American women that were 19, 20, this chick was like an angel on earth. Worked, had a job, gave money to her parents, didn't drink, didn't go party, just wanted to find a nice man, but has been busy with work because her father was sick and she had to step up and help the family. And it's like they have real stories, real struggles, real sacrifices for the family. Close ties. Goes to church every Sunday. God-fearing women. They still exist on this planet, but you're not going to find them for long. That's the issue. So because of TikTok, we have a weird inversion where you used to say things like, 19, 20, 21, that's the prime because they're unspoiled by horrendous dating and Chad's pumping and dumping and them having the 1,000-cock stare and, all this other crazy shit. The damage from hypersexualization, hookup culture and dating apps and all this shit. And that you could get a decent woman like that. But that's not the case anymore. Actually, the only decent women is actually only in this weird in-between where it's like they're mid-20s to maybe 30, and I'm speaking overseas only, that they grew up, but it wasn't dominating their life. And I'm talking about technology or social media. These younger ones in their early 20s, bro, it's the cadence, the way they speak, the words they use. I went on a date with one and she was just saying the Romanian version of like all the time. Like, and I was like, and she had the magic crystals. I went and I paid a lady to read my palms. What's Sagittarius? Are you a sign? Are you Sagittarius? I'm a Gemini. And I was like, bro, give me the check, please. Get me out of here. So make some plans, boys. Time is up. We'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.